Hey, hi Nidhi, good evening. So good to have you on my show today.
Hi,
So,
it's an honor.
thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking out time and being here. So, I've always known you as a very successful marketing professional working in media all through. And now, suddenly, I see your journey as a yoga professional. I mean, it is amazing and it is inspiring. So, quickly, it'll be nice to have a small introduction from you and then we'll dive into the conversation.
So, like you said, you've always seen me as a marketing professional. I never saw myself as anything beyond that. Uh, so I think for a good 20 years of my life, I have worked as a marketing professional, and I, I somehow was always very keen on building something in my life which would center me. And as I was working, the demands of work and the demands of daily life, my health, there were so many factors. And you just hear, right, that yoga is very good. And I think I just decided on that note itself. So while it is a surprise, that for you this is a transition, actually this journey started long back. In fact, if we think of it in a more profound way, because we do seep in a little bit of, it starts even before you're born. So you do carry tendencies, as they say, okay? And this is not something which is completely unscientific, because you see that in the same family there are different people who take on to different kind of likings despite of having the same ecosystem at home. So I personally feel we do have some traits in us, all of us, riders. And once we start identifying those riders and, you work with them, you be patient with them, I think there is a possibility of changing the course of your life a little bit. I changed it to a great extent, but that everyday journey, like they say that, oh, this person is very overnight success. There's nothing like an overnight success. So yes.
Thank you so much. I think that was a beautiful answer. Like all of us, at least today's generation, we hear people say their calling or their purpose, right? I think, like how you said, it's not like it happens all of a sudden, right? It has always been there. I think what matters is, somewhere you kind of take out time and say, hey, this is the time I'm going to start. I think that is something I really want to hear from you because I've seen you work. You've been there for many, many years in the sector. You've been in the industry and you did well, whatever you were doing. And suddenly for you to think that you're going to kind of give a break and then, start something which is going to kind of change your life in this way. So how did that happen? I mean, would definitely want to hear more on that transition or maybe that journey.
So I'd like to, say that it was not a choice that I made, that, I want to leave work and become a yoga teacher. My job required me for a transfer, and I was not comfortable because of the responsibilities that I had, having two daughters. And I had been practicing for a long, long time. Uh, I just continued on that, because that had centered me for so many years. I latched onto it. And when this came into my life, that I need to, kind of now look at an ecosystem again, which is more conducive to me. I did look out for jobs. I did get also some jobs. But by then, that break time, I did not sink. I did not sink. I did not know what to do. But the tool that I had in my hand, I put my heart and soul in it. So I would practice and I would read, and, and like they say, the only thing you can really do is put in the effort. Uh, Even in the most successful companies, since we need to contextualize this a little bit, to the corporate world also, because I have been in the corporate world, there is so much you can plan and manage. And beyond that, life takes its own course, right? So a company can be really, really prepared for a great launch, and then you just don't know what kind of scenarios hit the company. So we need to take that in our stride, that I'm going to put in my effort, okay, and really not expect. Because what happens is, when you put in, and this is where again karma yoga theory, which works beautifully in the corporate world, because we work so hard and we're like, oh my God, I've not met the target, or I've not got the required increment. So, when you are doing a task, really do it without expectation. It releases a lot of tension from your body. It releases a lot of stress, because जो beyond a point होना है वो होना ही है. That latching on is something the practice helped me to slowly and gradually, remove that habit of latching and simply live the life, live the life, learn to be more content. Uh, I would like to mention here. Uh, I latched onto yoga. Someone else might not find that the right tool for them. Uh, I value arts a lot. Okay, so yes, science is extremely important and logic and reasoning, but I value arts a lot, and I feel every person, they must try and inculcate one aspect in their life, which is something about aesthetics, art, because what it does is it just centers you. It just centers you. Art, since time immemorial, actually, art was meant to inspire us, to drive us. It was always supposed to have a meaning, it was always supposed to give a message to us. And somewhere, in the new age, art has lost that essence, and we try to kind of commercialize it too much, which I'm not a big favor of. So for example, modern paintings, where you almost look at them and you don't understand them. So art is a very powerful tool. You must use it to drive a message, which is what most of the ancient history, civilization, you walk around near maybe a temple, and they will give you messaging of what is it is to love, what it is to hate. So the profound messages of life, art can drive in you. Adopt a practice, which is, it could be knitting, it could be cooking, it could be anything. Give yourself that therapy, and it doesn't just expand your perception, it actually explodes your perception towards life. You change very small things about you. So yes, so for example, when I kind of was transitioning from becoming a yoga student to a teacher, I thought I'm doing great in terms of asana practice, because I was doing fine, right? And then I go and I, go under a guru who has 51 years of teaching experience, right? And I went to him and I had so much of so much of ego shattering with respect to my practice, because I thought I'm doing fine. I thought 15 years I've done fine. But then you understand and you learn the art of humility and surrender with art, because there is always a scope to do better and better and better. And, you get more and more subtle. So I remember when I started the asana practice, it was like, I want to do handstand, but it changes. It changes with time. You become more humble in your practice, and it starts to kind of work with you to stabilize your life. Sanyam is extremely important. So as important effort is, restraint is extremely important, whether it is your work life, whether it is your personal life, I feel.
Wonderful. I think so many things you said, it's so profound. I'm still kind of digesting all of what you said. I mean, though it sounds very easy, Nidhi, but practically when you sit to practice or when you actually dive into this journey, it's not easy, right? Especially a couple of things, what you said, humility, or maybe, the ego shattering bit, what you said, it happens with all of us, right? Mostly it is know it all to, learn it all kind of a thing. I mean, it's not easy. So let's say today when people are trying to explore, like I'm happy you mentioned today, a lot of times people think yoga is the only thing. It might not be yoga for somebody. For someone, maybe it could be music. For somebody, it could be something else. They need to understand what is that that gives them that little solace, right? So I'm sure, you found it, faster and you were very clear and, you invested a lot of time. But let's say when people are in this journey where they're still trying to figure out, is there any way where you think they can find out this is their calling? I know it's a very difficult question because it's not easy to find out what is the calling. So, was there something which kind of made you feel towards yoga, or if there are you have teenage kids at home, so I'm sure they also go through this phase where they're trying to find out what gives them that little peace, or what is that that makes them feel nice and invest in time in that. So, is there somewhere where you can share your thoughts?
Uh, Akshata, actually, this answer is a little off, but it is extremely important. What I learned in life, I think, is we need to learn how to manage our health wherever we are at, whether you're in a corporate world, we have to understand that this body, it's not a gift, it is a responsibility, and we have to learn how to manage our health, whatever works for your health. And health is not just, your physical health, it is mental health, emotional health. There's so many kinds of aspects to your daily life. So when you genuinely make that intent, it actually requires only 5 minutes of your time daily to build a practice. Okay. So we all have demands, I am maybe not in a place where I'm fighting for survival today, right? Someone else who might want to transition into this might want to, it is a fight for survival for them, and it gets very difficult to follow your passion, right? In that case, I would still say that you must build in a certain financial stability in your life. Whatever you like, please find time. There is always time. The most successful person in this world also has 24 hours only. It is just about making that intent. There are thousands of practices, thousands of tools available. Maybe you can plan. There's so many journal writing, so many things you can just build up as a practice. Dedicate certain time to what you like, parallelly build up your financial stability, because that is the real world, that is the demand of life. And then the transition when you will do becomes a lot easier. So why I mentioned that it is not as, it seems like a surprise, but that effort was there. And then when the transition happened for me, okay, I was not a novice at it. I could feel what is required out of me. So parallelly work on your skill. Always play with your strengths. Always play. Uh, you have to be very brutal in this process. You sit down, you identify your strengths, you identify your weaknesses. Once you do that, then be very gentle with yourself. At the time of identification, be very brutal. Once you have identified, figure a course, how you will manage this, and then be gentle. If you have forgot, if you have missed, let's say you're someone who's now planning your life, okay, half an hour I will take out for this and build my passion and build my skill. All right. If one day you cannot do it, even if you've just overslept, you've just killed. It's okay. Be gentle with yourself at that point. Bring yourself back and always move forward to the next day. Be real with yourself that, okay, I did not do it. I was supposed to do it, but then no problem. I will do it tomorrow. Yeah.
This is wonderful. Thank you so much, Nidhi. I think it is music for my ears, everything what you said, because as a HR professional, these are some things which I keep telling myself and I keep telling people. But trust me, if I may be very brutal here, all that what you said, maybe it's not easy for people to practice on their own, right? I mean, maybe as you said, you've been working for so many years, and you have ensured you've given that time. Even when I have to sit today and candidly put what are my strengths or areas where I have to work, many people have problem in identifying those, right? So, in your journey, was it easy for you, or was there someone who was supporting you to ensure that you were able to bring all those together?
I think I got a reality check, when I transitioned. I It helped me to have a guru who was like a mirror. So we all have some people in our life who want us to succeed. And I think it's important to go to the people who are most brutal to us. Trust me. So I always, I have a child, I have a daughter, and we always tell her that जो निंदा करता है, जो the person who's criticizing, you must take that person very seriously. Maybe that person is doing out of jealousy, out of spite, out of anger, whatever, but listen to that person very carefully and just pick up on what, really could be a genuine issue and face it. Just face it. So if you are unable to do that exercise on your own, go to the person जिससे तुम्हारी सबसे कम बनती है. Build a relationship with that person. And all the weaknesses, maybe you have no weaknesses, but you'll still tend to become a better person. Why? Because now you are overcoming the challenge of dealing with someone who maybe doesn't like you. So there that ego shattering is happening then and there, right? So ego shattering, I had Guruji to help me. We can help ourselves by really facing the unpleasant situations in our life. People who criticize us, don't take it personally. Everyone who is maybe criticizing you, or they come from their own place. Some of it could be right, some of it could just be a little bit of exaggeration. And try and find your strengths, your weaknesses, with the help of the people around you. And yes, I mean, I truly believe that, for most of us, many of us, we are very lucky, we are very privileged. I do feel that parents are they teach us the best. Very few unfortunate cases, but largely I would like to believe that mothers and fathers, they drive us. And if you have that kind of ecosystem where you feel that yes, my parents think the best about me, go back and just listen to what they were saying and try to apply it in your life.
Very good. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing that, Nidhi. Just one thing I want to ask you, especially, I don't know, this might be very personal. Let's say when you came from a setup where you were working for so many years, suddenly it was a very different structure altogether, right? So at times you would see your people from your industry kind of doing well. And as a human being, it always happens, right? You would put yourself there saying, if you were in the corporate world, maybe you would have done this. So does that happen sometimes? Where do you still feel that you should have been there, or maybe you're missing something? Do you ever feel that?
No, so not a corporate world, but like you said, we are human beings and we tend to get competitive and we tend to, so it's if I'm not in the corporate world, in the yoga world, I'll sometimes say, oh, this person, acha, wow, what a great, session. So yes, we do, I do go through that. But I'm a little more aware of my thoughts. I correct myself, I check myself, and I remind myself that I'm on a beautiful journey, the other person is on a beautiful journey. And, if it is lucrative, we hope that our paths cross. Otherwise, we both on our own journeys and building our own lives. So it is difficult, yes, to not feel competitive, etc. And which is exactly where centering, finding that one thing in your life, finding 5 minutes of it, it takes time. But with time, you will start seeing all of those traits about you. They will start to become more subtle. At least you'll be aware. At least, otherwise, what happens is we in this whole ziffy, we keep going, oh, he got 10 lakh rupees of bonus and I did not, and I work so hard, and all of that happens, right, in the corporate world. So it's these two. And listen, life is not maybe you really deserve it, but life is not fair, right? We all know it. So it's okay, which means you have to accept it. Now, how do you accept it? You accept it by building um, something in your life which gives you happiness beyond your work also. you know it could very well be reading. It could be, I think, when you start to build a positive habit, it builds in contentment in you. It makes you a little more aware that, is this a want, is this a need, or is this just greed now, but it takes time. It takes time. I'm someone who practices yoga, so we work a lot with the body. The asana practice is just a tool, by the way, Akshita. It is a tool to manage your mind. That is what, in the ancient texts also is written. So it is all about your mind management. And there are many, many techniques out there. There are, Chinese techniques and so many techniques around the world. If you are someone who likes colors, pick up something which is to do with painting. If you're someone who likes music, make a homemade instrument. I made it for my daughter the other day, full day she's playing, right? Okay. So hard work to karna padega. There is nothing in this world which can beat hard work. Hard work covers up for being unprivileged. Hard work covers up for being unskilled. Hard work covers up for, being anxious. Hard work covers up for being nervousness. And which is exactly why you hear such inspiring stories. A person who was from a village, studying in the sun and in the, light in the night, and uh, that person has gone to the moon. And you, me, we are sitting here, very privileged, and we are finding to handle the daily challenges of life. So that's because they worked very hard, Akshata. We cannot take that hard work away from people. It is very easy to say, अरे very lucky, उसकी तो overnight success कुछ नहीं होता है. आप थोड़ा लकी हो जाते हो, लेकिन उसके बाद सस्टेन करने के लिए आपको हार्ड वर्क तो डालना ही पड़ता है, कोई भी एरिया ऑफ लाइफ हो आपका. बट बी केयरफुल, पुट इन दैट एंटायर हार्ड वर्क, एंड ऑलवेज just let it go. Don't hanker, because zaruri nahi hai har baar result aayega. So you don't want to get disappointed also. You don't want to think, oh, I've put my heart soul in it. Be detached, be a little detached with your work. Understand, I mean, this is very basic. Understand that your work is there to nourish you, to nourish your family, and if you really like your work, then it is even easier to follow the karma yoga philosophy, because now you just like it, right? There is no need to bhai karo, bas kaam karo ab, pal ki chinta bilkul mat karo.
Wonderful. It's like I'm suddenly talking to the yoga guru. Huh? Nidhi, I'm loving this conversation. But let me also come back to the reality and want to quickly hear your thoughts. All this sounds really nice, especially when you're talking about, a difficulty letting go the past or maybe comparing yourself. And a lot of times we have a lot of habits which we've built over so many years, right? Especially the bad ones difficult to break. So, what is that you would tell for few people who are just starting in their journey where they are? I'm not even talking about yoga, just trying to, be detached. You said again, that's very, very difficult. I don't think it's easy. But let me talk about a journey where people start giving a little time for themselves. Look at the good, like, sometimes we are very hard at ourselves, right? We don't do something, we keep beating ourselves. Even when we know things were not in our control, we are very tough on ourselves. And a lot of times we keep comparing. We don't know other situation, but we always feel we are not there, we did not get. So it's difficult, especially it happens in the corporate world. I think other, across also it happens. So if somebody has to start maybe in a place where, it's a beginner's journey, what are few things you would tell, people should start doing, and then maybe they can start or keep building on it. But obviously they have to start somewhere, right? Today you even brought it up about mental health. A lot of people are struggling, a lot of people are going through stress. Even I've seen people 5 years, 7 years talking about, I'm frustrated and I'm feeling very lonely. I've heard people, kids say that. So somewhere we have to start somewhere, so that we someday reach where you are today. So what are few things you feel people can start doing so that they can start knowing themselves better? Give that 5 minutes, what you said, where that journey can start.
So first, what I'll say next is very scandalous, and I can be very scandalous, right? So, first and foremost, I think society at large, okay, yes, there are demands of life, and there are issues, but I think we need to be extremely careful about using the word mental health. I'm gonna highlight a particular incident here, which is very relevant. My child the other day was talking to a friend, and she was consoling the friend, After she kept the phone, I asked her that what happened. She told me, um, his parents are fighting a lot. I said, okay, okay, hota hai. I said, sometimes me and Papa also fight, so tell him to calm. She's like, yeah, yeah, I was telling him that he's very depressed. I said, depressed? Why are you saying that? So she's like, no. Then I told her, I said, see, sadness and depression are two different things. So I think, especially adults, we need to be very, very careful of not very easily using these words, because what we speak and they see it on the internet. मतलब in a way we are feeding into them कि तुम जरा से sad हो तो तुम depression में आ रहे हो, तुम depression में आ रहे हो. So we should be very mindful, and we should sit a lot, with if you are dealing with a child or whosoever you're dealing with. Okay, first, do not think that everything is about, because let's face it, you and I are thinking that the world is very demanding. The world hasn't changed. The world is the same. It was actually a lot more demanding earlier, when people had to travel so much on foot, this, that, you know what I'm saying. So let's not think that the world is any extra demanding, so to say. Maybe a little more fast. Okay, but at the same time, we need to figure out that this is sadness, this is happiness, this is a part and parcel of life. Now, to answer your question specifically, that young people or someone who's a beginner on this journey, right? How do they kind of walk this path? How do they adopt? My answer really will be, whilst yoga is about mind, I will say take care of your health. I will say take care of your health. Uh, I have been very privileged to not see yoga and asana practice just as some fancy poses. I have seen some miracles around me, and I have understood the importance of good health, right? When we are healthy, we think better, we deal with life better. So don't do anything else. मत लिखो journal, मत लिखो gratitude journal, मत लिखो breath पे focus मत करो, कुछ भी मत करो. सबसे पहले अपना ध्यान रखो. This I Even the mothers, as mothers, we always put the family first, and you do it and I do it. But I keep reminding myself that if I will not take care of myself, if I will not take care of my health, how will I take care of them? So please take care of your health. That is the first step, I would say. And why I'm saying that. Okay. So because it should not sound again, very philosophical, this answer. I started my yoga journey because of my periods. Okay. I used to have horrible periods. It used to affect my work life. I used to message my boss, I cannot come 3 days. I would be in pain, just a very bad situation. And fortunately, the doctor I went to, he recommended to me, that why don't you practice yoga? It is known to help with this. And I started practicing. When my health got better, when I felt stronger a little bit in my body, ऑटोमेटिकली कॉन्फिडेंस आता है लाइफ को हैंडल करने का. अंदर अगर आपकी बॉडी खत्म होती है ना, तो बहुत मुश्किल हो जाता है. अनलेस एंड अंटिल यू आर अ वेरी एडवांस्ड योगी, कि देयर आर योगीज की कैंसर है बट दे आर सो डिटैच्ड विद देयर बॉडी दैट दे, बट यू एंड आई आर नॉट लाइक दैट. वी आर वेरी अटैच्ड टू आवर बॉडी. We'll get a little pain, we'll go to the doctor 10 times without realizing that it takes time. आ गया है, आ गया, एक्सेप्ट करो, 10 दिन चुपचाप रहो, right? But we go to the doctor, we'll call him, जरा सा ज्यादा दर्द होगा तो, because we are attached to our body. So we need to take care of our health. This is something I will say across age groups. Today's generation especially is a lot more aware, at least. That's another thing. They are also exposed to different kinds of foods, and but they do get into it, because I see a lot of people going to the gym and doing a lot more. Like in your and my times, we did not see people so physically active, right? Today people are picking up something or the other. In that case, my strong recommendation would be pick up practices that are holistic. Do not pick up practices which are about muscular health, my six packs. No, pick up practices which will help your body, your mind, your breath in general. There are many practices, not just asana practices. In South India, I'm forgetting the dance form. It starts with K, very famous. So that is known. Then, in Chinese arts or martial arts, they all are very holistic practices. So even Kathak, right? So what happens again, there is a mental calculation going on, when you're tapping your feet, there's a lot of blood circulation that happens in the body. So it doesn't necessarily mean, it doesn't mean strength training करूं. वो सब नहीं बोल रहे हैं. होलिस्टिक प्रैक्टिस अपनाओ. ये जो होलिस्टिक प्रैक्टिसेस हैं उसमें फिजिकल एफर्ट भी लगता है और माइंड मैनेजमेंट भी होता है. एंड व्हाई आई एम सेइंग अगेन, खुद को करना बड़ा मुश्किल हो जाता है. सो हैव अ टीचर, इन्वेस्ट दैट मनी लिटिल बिट, maybe buy less tops or something like that, have a lesser meal, one meal outside, उससे ज्यादा पैसा लगता नहीं है. Okay, invest that much in yourself, take care of yourself. That is.
Wonderful. Wonderful. I think this is something very, very important. And all of us keep complaining that, there is no change and we are like, how you say, very loosely, we use the word sad, alone, depressed. I'm so happy you said these small, small things. You don't have to do a lot of things and you don't have to give too much time. I think there is a journey where you can start with those small things. And one thing I definitely am going to take it away is your health. You need to focus on your health. Only if you're good, you'll be able to take care of your family. And especially with women, we've seen moms at home, grandmothers at home. I think for them, it's always, family first and they never put themselves first. I know we are running out of time. Just one last question before signing off. So, Nidhi, I see, I'm thoroughly, thrilled to have this conversation. I think I can keep talking to you. Very, very happy to see the kind of transformation, and also especially, you've been very realistic. That is important. Otherwise, a lot of times people say ye kar do, wo kar do, this is easy. It's not easy. You'll have to spend time, and nothing is free in life, as you said. So one change that has happened to you because of yoga, want to hear that, and then say bye to you.
I think awareness. I'm aware of what's happening, a little more aware of what's happening in my body. I listen to my body. So, and restraint has come. So, if a particular, now I understand a little bit, okay, if this is happening on, let's say, my shoulder, um, I will not get aggressive, and I will be very mindful, and I will work with that maybe for a few months. So it builds patience. It has built a lot of patience in me. It has built a lot of awareness in me. Now, this physical awareness eventually gets translated to awareness of your thoughts. And eventually, honestly, most of the thoughts are redundant. When the mind is little free of thoughts is when it is more fertile, right? So it has started as a physical journey, it all, and then from dhire it goes, and you start to understand yourself a little better. When I say, understand your thought, it simply means understand yourself a little better, and eventually realize that no, you this is not who you are, because morning you are thinking something else, evening on the same topic you are thinking completely, so your thoughts are not really you, and which is why you have to kind of let go of that entire clutter, which yoga has helped me. I don't hold things anymore. We live in the real world, so real world husband and wife fight, but I think even if we have an argument within 5 minutes, like, I have nothing inside of me, I'm normal, I'm cracking a joke with him. So I think it has made me very light, if I may say. It has made me very light. And I'm eternally grateful. I would like to close this conversation by paying my gratitude to my Gurujis. Um, they change you. If you find someone who has lasted with you for a season, and if you have found profoundness in them, stick to them. We think कि भाई गुरु की तो वो जहर भी देता है ना, वो दवा लेके पी जाओ. So find someone, become someone who can take the brutal, harsh reality. And I'm ever so grateful to my Guruji for building me like that for initial years. And, he changing the way I think. No aggression in your practice. Face relaxed. He doesn't tell me anything nowadays about my posture, Hasa. But he's like, relax your face. Why are you spending your so those things from the asana practice, you translate it in your real life, and always surrender it back. I believe in a guru. You could believe in your mother. Someone else could believe in someone else. Always, all your knowledge, all your vidya, everything, offer it back to them at the end of the day. Thank you. So grateful that you kind of took me on this journey, and so grateful that uh, you gave me this, but I don't own it because it's yours. I'm giving it back to you. And tomorrow again, I will come to you and please grace me again with this. So always surrender yourself to someone whom you trust or who's a guiding light in your life. Because when the vicissitudes of life hit us, we cannot, most of the times, we cannot think right. And it is absolutely okay to go to the people who have stood by you, and you cannot see the light of the day. Follow their advice. It's okay. Yeah.
Wonderful. It was a beautiful conversation. Thank you so much, Nidhi. This is going to help so many people who are looking for a lot of answers and still don't know where to find. I think it was a beautiful conversation. Thank you for taking out time and sharing all your thoughts and being so candid about your entire journey. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot for your time.
So
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you. Bye.